Hello, my name is MooingCat, and in this video I would like to go through this announcement from the product head himself. Matt, the product head of Forge of Empires, released this announcement. You have probably seen it on your server as well. This is from the beta server, but this is a server-wide or global announcement where he goes through what the future holds for Forge of Empires. So in this video, I will go through this. I will first just quickly read through everything without any comments, and then I will jump into my comments just so you can decide what you want to hear or not. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello everyone. I am excited to share with you our plans for the future of Forge of Empires, especially our focus for 2024. Our approach aligns with in-game strategic vision, and for Forge of Empires our goal is to, quote, find the right balance between engaging gameplay and strategic depth. We provide each archetype with an epic and engaging player experience without compromising game integrity, always hitting the balance between accessibility for new players and depth for seasoned players. Based on your feedback, we have identified key areas for improvements and innovation. Number 1, reducing repetitive tasks. We aim to streamline army management, enhance the great building donation process, and improve messaging. Guild enhancement. Recognizing guild's role in player retention and depth exploration, we plan to overhaul guild search features and expand guild activities. Number 3, city focus. We'll continue to support and enhance the city building aspect of the game, a key enjoyment factor for many. Number 4, expanding competition. Exploring cross-world competitions and adding seasonal challenges will create more dynamic player interactions. And number 5, reward system. Introducing new avenues for relevant rewards outside of events. Addressing these issues will likely take 2 to 3 years, but our priority is to create a smoother, more engaging experience while maintaining the game's integrity and financial sustainability. Our immediate priorities are new reward areas, diversify reward and add depth to gameplay, user experience improvements, focus on reducing frustration in interactive features, enhanced social gameplay, improve guild integration for new players, and enhance guild functionality. For 2024, here are some exciting updates. Events evolution. We are refining our 10 main events, accompanied by mini events and challenges. Each event will be supported by a selection of mini events or challenges. These are mostly questline based, which are designed to help you through each event and focus on areas that can make a difference for you and offer you access to more rewards both in the mini event but also in the main event. Cultural settlements. The introduction of the Polynesian settlement and the rebalancing of rewards across all settlements. We'll also make some general improvements to the whole cultural settlement system by improving the balancing of the gameplay. Guild Exhibition, introducing 5 new difficulties with a smoother difficulty curve and more frequent transitions between offensive and defensive boosts. We'll make the later levels deliberately difficult so that you have something to work towards over the next couple of years. Guild Battlegrounds, implementing diverse boosts and revising the league setup and matchmaking system. And finally, Quantum Incursions, a new raid system featuring heroes, details of which will be revealed later. And this is actually starting in just under 2 days, so I will have a video on this in a moment. Anyways, continuing. In addition to these major updates, we'll introduce smaller features throughout the year with a focus on transparency and community engagement. You will have noticed that we're discussing adding in both offensive and defensive boosts to more features. This will vary gameplay, but will also stop the one-solution-fits-all city layouts that we are seeing. We want to inspire varied gameplay and varied city setups. It also allows us to offer rewards in multiple directions rather than just pushing the power creep further and further. It also means that guilds will need players from both sides, as it were, to contribute to guild-based features and really excel. Overall, I believe this will be better for the game in the long term, although I realize it will cause some controversy in the short term. We also plan to conduct 2 community sprints in 2024. These will be dedicated periods where we focus on implementing changes directly requested by you, our players. Our community managers will provide more details soon, including a voting process to determine the topics. As with everything, this has to be taken as a living document. As the game and industry change, we have to react to those changes. That means that we may alter our trajectory, and not do some things as described above. As we want to have more regular communication from our side, we will keep you as up to date as we can, should anything change. Thank you for your ongoing support and enthusiasm. We're committed to making Forge of Empires not only endure, but thrive for the next decade and beyond. Stay tuned for more updates from us. All the best, Matt, Product Head, Forge of Empires. So that is a lot to take in. So let me go through these points one by one and give you some of my thoughts. So number 1 here, reducing repetitive tasks. That's something that I'm really excited to see. I really hope that they are able to streamline things. The specific things they mention here are army management. That one is really interesting. I wonder exactly how, but there's been a lot of ideas floating around for years. Things like army presets, auto refilling, for example, damaged units. Both of those ideas could be implemented and will definitely help reduce repetitive tasks and streamline, as they say here, the army management. That's what I would like to see. I'm not sure if that's their idea or not, but at least, hopefully they do something positive here. I'm definitely looking forward to it. The second point here, enhance the great building donation process. Initially, I wasn't quite sure what the big deal here is. I thought it was quite simple. But then I realized I'm using FOE Helper, so I can easily get the numbers I need to donate, etc. But not everybody does, or the majority doesn't. So especially for mobile players, they can do a lot here, and hopefully they implement some of the things we see there. So say, for example, that you have, some presets, for example, in the donation menu, so that you can donate 1.9, for example, or donate however many points you will get in return. So if you get 600 Forge points in return, you donate 600 and so on. So a lot of those would definitely be helpful, so people doesn't have to do the math themselves or use third-party extensions. So there are actually some things they can do here to greatly improve the great buildings. Now finally here, improve messaging. I don't really know specifically what they are talking about here, but I'm fine with seeing some improvements there. I wouldn't mind seeing some other repetitive tasks, not fixed, but talked about. So there's a lot of repetitive tasks in general that they can definitely look at. Tasks, for example, quests, stuff like that I find quite repetitive. I find Guild Battlegrounds are very repetitive, but if that's something they want to focus on or change, I don't know. I'm not sure if that would fall under repetitive tasks, but who knows. So I like the things they mention here, but there are more things I would like to see as well. Now the second one here is quite non-specific. They do mention overhauling the guild search features, which is quite nice. I think the current one is probably quite outdated. So I wonder exactly how they will do this, but what I would like to see, having thought a little bit about this, is the ability for guild members to, or the guild leaders to better specify what they're looking for. So say, for example, that you can say that you want players to have an arc, for example, and then when people are looking, they can immediately see if they qualify for that point or not. So the game itself could check if you have that great building at that level that the guild wants, and if you don't, you get, for example, a mark besides a guild when you try to join that this guilds require this, so they might not accept you because of that. I wouldn't want it to be, or perhaps I do, I don't know. I don't think I want them to block players from, say, applying if they don't meet the requirements of a guild. But I think that having that in the menu itself would be quite nice. Of course, there's always the ability there should always be the ability for the guild owners to have exceptions, add players despite this and so on. But stuff like that, I think it would be nice to see in the guild search features. But if not, in general, some improvements here wouldn't be amiss. Don't think it's that big of a deal, but nice to see. And then expand guild activities. I'm sure they're talking about guild raids here, but yeah, perhaps some more features as well. The city focus point here, also and not specific at all. They do touch upon it a little bit later here in this chapter or in this paragraph about diversifying, having both offensive and defensive boosts, for example. That's something they've been pushing now for, I don't know, I guess close to a year, which I think that's quite a good thing, and I do agree with this. I do believe that if they actually are able to achieve it, and that's the big point, if they're able to achieve it, I do think it will be better for the game long term. How well they are able to achieve it, we'll have to see. They do mention that I will implement it in other places as well, for example in guild Battlegrounds and so on. So it'll depend on how well they're able to achieve it. Now, expanding competition. This one I find very interesting. Cross-world competitions. That's a big point. That's something that, players, for example, have been asking for guild Battlegrounds specifically lately. If that could be cross-world with a much bigger pool of guilds, it would make matchmaking a lot better. You wouldn't face the same guilds every time. The big problem with cross-world has always been on the infrastructure side, on the back-end side. So all of that communication between worlds, that's definitely a challenge. Currently, the only cross-world competition there is the Guild Expedition leaderboard, and that's just simply one or a couple of values that are sent across the worlds. But if we were talking about live cross-world interactions, that would definitely be a bigger challenge. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what they mean. Do they mean a similar thing like they're doing now with Guild Expedition, where it's simply comparing the score between worlds, or will it actually be interaction between or cross-world? And another challenge with cross-world interaction is that the newer worlds will definitely be at a disadvantage. However, with the rewards you get from events and so on, that disadvantage doesn't last too long. And I would say that at this point, probably all the worlds are, if not on the same footing, relatively similar. So I don't think that is a big issue, but it definitely is something to consider as well. Anyway, adding seasonal challenges. I'm not quite sure what they mean by this. They must be meaning something outside of events, because that's nothing new. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Or I suppose they might actually mean the Guild Battlegrounds Championships that last for, is it 8 weeks, 6 weeks? Perhaps they are talking about those, who knows? And who knows if they will add more or not. But that'll definitely be interesting to see. And, quote, more dynamic player interactions. Sounds lovely. Hopefully they can achieve it. That would be nice. But nothing really specific to think of or to talk about there for now at least. And then last here, introducing new avenues for relevant rewards outside of events. That's definitely welcome if they're able to achieve it. At the moment, it definitely is Forge of events. That's where all your buildings come from, more or less. So it would be nice if they can achieve something around like this to spread out where you get the relevant buildings. But it'll definitely be interesting to see. Now, they do talk about this taking quite a long time, which is understandable. Some of these they will be able to address quicker, some of them perhaps not. But yeah, definitely interesting to see. They do mention their immediate priorities, so new reward areas, that's definitely welcome. I guess Guild or quantum incursions, as they're called now, the guild raids. That might qualify as one of these. We do also see that we have the new settlement, which I'll talk about in an upcoming video this weekend probably. So yeah, that's nice to see. User experience improvements, focus on reducing frustration in interactive features. That's definitely nice. Not quite sure specifically what they mean, but any improvement or reduction of frustration, however you want to spin it, is definitely a nice thing. So yeah, looking forward to see what exactly they're able to do. And enhance social gameplay, so improve guild integration for new players and enhance guild functionality. Again, will be interesting to see specifically what they do. We do have quantum incursions or guild raids coming soon. That's definitely one of these. But what else do they do? That'll definitely be interesting. Now, they do also have some points for 2024. This first one here, events evolution. I'm not sure if, or I don't really know of any, if there will be much more evolution compared to what we have seen. There has been quite a few new things the last year, but if there will be more than what we have been introduced to, I don't know, because we do already have the challenges. I don't know what they mean by mini events. Perhaps that will be events between events, I don't know. So 10 main events, 2 of them last a month, so I don't know, 8 events across 10 months. They usually last 3 weeks, so there is some downtime. So they do have space to fit in some quote-unquote mini events, but yeah, will be interesting to see. And then challenges, I'm guessing they're talking about the rivals challenges. So yeah, nothing really too new there. Then we actually do have a new settlement, the Polynesian settlement. We do have some spoilers for it. We don't have any official information beyond this, but yeah, we do have spoilers, and I will cover it in my upcoming beta recap. I think it'll come out this weekend. It might come out before. We'll see. But yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to see. So looking forward to that. They do also mention that they will make general improvements to whole cultural settlement system by improving the balancing of the gameplay, which is interesting, and also rebalancing the rewards. That's definitely definitely something they should have done a long time ago. With the last year and a half of events, the event buildings simply have been outscaled, power crept by the other buildings, so they definitely do need to be rebalanced, improved, and I also like improving that they're trying to improve the balancing of the gameplay. Exactly how, don't know, but yeah, it's nice to see that they're adding this or focusing a little bit on this again. It has been kind of neglected the last 2 or 3 years. When was the Mogul settlement released? It must have been 2 or 3 years ago now, so definitely long overdue. Guild Expedition, this one I find a little bit interesting. So it says introducing 5 new difficulties, so I guess this will mean that we will have 10 levels, which is definitely quite a lot. Again, enhancing guild functionality, making adding more things to do. Now, they do mention here that they want to make the last levels difficult. So yeah, kind of what they did with Guild level 5, Expedition level 5. They specifically mentioned that they wanted to make it really difficult so that players have things to work towards. So, will be interesting to see. They also mention more frequent transitions between offensive and defensive boosts. That's also really interesting to see. Now, with these new 5 difficulties, I'm wondering what they will do with the current 5. Will they rebalance them? Hopefully, I hope they do, because right now, the difficulty level or the scaling is a little bit weird. We have level 1, 2, and 3, which are relatively nice. Then level 4 is a decent jump beyond that, and then level 5, a very big jump beyond that. So if they are going to do a smooth curve for these last 5, hopefully that also encompasses the previous level. So we have a smooth curve from level 1 all the way to level 10. So what I would like to see is that when they introduce this, perhaps level 4 and 5 are a bit easier, but then 6 and beyond are even more difficult than, all the way to level 10, which I know perhaps is impossible to do. Now it will also be interesting to see what they do with unlocking. Will you still have to unlock in the same way? Will it cost guilds like it does goods like it does now? Because that could also be, I don't know, an area for debate or discussion within the guild. How much do you want to spend? And I'm not sure if that's a good thing. It might lead to even more clumping in the top guilds where you can unlock these levels. So yeah, hopefully, I would like to see them perhaps reduce the cost or remove the costs completely. I don't know, to make it so that all guilds can participate and go as far as, or each player within each guild can go as far as they want without having to go to a top guild to actually be able to participate. So I don't know, something to think about at least. And then guild Battlegrounds, quite a small point, but quite a big impact. Implementing diverse boosts, that's definitely going to be quite controversial, as they say. But I think that's a nice thing. I think, personally, I think it would be nice to see. But I think the biggest thing that people will take away from this is revising the league setup and matchmaking system. That's been a big complaint, especially among the top guilds, that the matchmaking system is not good. Personally, I don't really play a lot of guild Battlegrounds, so I don't really have much first-hand experience. But from what I hear, it's a big issue. So hopefully they are able to sort this somehow. Again, will they go as far as to do cross world? I don't know. Might be a bit difficult. But who knows? It might not be. Might not. Perhaps the technical difficulties were a bit overblown in the past. So who knows? Perhaps it will be cross world. That would definitely be interesting to see. But yeah. And then finally, Quantum Incursions, a new raid system featuring heroes. Not quite sure what they mean by this. Details of which will be revealed later. So in-game right now on beta, the first Quantum Incursions is actually active, or the countdown for it is active. It will start on, it's Tuesday today, it's on Thursday, I believe. So yeah, on Thursday it will start, so that'll definitely be interesting to see, and I will have a video on that when it launches to give some of my first impressions, and then later on I will probably do a follow-up video when I've learned some more about it. Anyway, I also like that they mention transparency and community engagement. I personally would like to see more from the developers, hear them speak, but not sure if we're going to get more of that, but it's definitely something I would want. But in general, any transparency and communication from the game itself, or from the management and devs and so on, is nice. And then also I really like this 2 community sprints. That's going to be very welcoming. They had one in, it might even have been 2022 or possibly early 2023, I don't remember, and that was quite a decent success. They of course couldn't do everything people wanted, but they did make some nice improvements. I can't remember specifically what they were, but I do remember liking most of them. So hopefully with 2 of them this year, they're able to add some very nice quality of life improvements, mostly, I imagine. So here, for example, community sprints, that would be a very nice place to do this, for example, streamline the army management. Perhaps they want to focus on that. Although perhaps they want to do a bigger overhaul behind the scenes. Who knows? Anyways, definitely like that. They do mention that this is subject to change, which is natural. We were talking about the years here, so of course things might change. But overall, I'm quite happy with this announcement. I think they bring up some good points. That said, it's all about execution. Will they be able to execute on this? That's what we will have to see in the future. Anyways, I don't really think I want to drag this on. I will leave this linked in the description if you want to read it yourself. I'm sure you can find it on your local server as well. So yeah, and then in not too long, in a couple of days perhaps, I will be talking a bit more on the Polynesian settlement, which we do have some spoilers for already. Anyways, I will leave you with this tease before I end though. Let me thank my Patreons for their support. I would like to thank Homestar, Kim Kelly, Rolf8, Dan Suminat, Chanti, Darkmatter, Mylia, 0K, THX, Yuka von Count, True the Generous, Susan Weiss, Rocco, Spike from No Remorse, Atomic, Flavius the Avenger, Arkler, Whiskymeister, Mar and Sir, Hoss, Henrik Kleber, Ararel, Mike, Opry the Obsessed, Ruth, Karen, Dennis, Flavius Belisarius, Stampe, Butcher, Misiak77, Niklas, Mike So, Michael, and Early Morning. Thanks a lot for your support. Thanks for watching. Take care. I will see you in the future. Bye bye.